This episode is sponsored by Kelley King Coaching Services, an identity centered and results driven executive coaching business that helps professionals sharpen their leadership skills so they can embrace the next level of their career journey. If you're a leader who needs clarity and confidence on how to thrive in your current or future leadership role, let's chat. Visit kelleykingcoaching.com. That's KELLEY, kingcoaching.com to schedule a free 30-minute coaching session and also learn about the services we offer so we can get you up and going on that career journey that you are desiring to be on.
Yeah, we in the building. 4 times dope. Yeah, we known to get it live, man. 4 times dope. New level, keep it high, yeah. 4 times dope. Mic check, now we on it, we live.
I want to catch us how everybody's been doing. And also, so we got a guest today, Dr. Shareefah, and I don't want to mess your last name up, so I'll let Kashara say that.
Dr. Shareefah Al-Uqda, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My bad, Shareefah. I've been saying it.
So we definitely got a guest here, whatever, and we just want to make sure that highlight that you join us, just kind of kicking it with us today. But like I said, it's been a while since we kind of recorded, so just how things been going with you, Jermaine?
All is well, man. All is well. No complaints. I actually got a lot going on, but it's a lot of good stuff, man. I'm trying to finish this book. January was the target, but so much stuff has been happening. So I'm trying to write some more stuff, make some more connections, and to some of the stuff I'm already writing. But my main focus in the next month, my main focus is to finish this book. And I think I mentioned to you guys I've been selected to do a TED talk too. So, but I just found out that's going to be
Young Theodore, Ted.
So that's good stuff, man. So yeah, I'm listen. I'm just staying out the way, man, and staying productive. So
okay,
that's my life right now.
Okay. Kashara, about yourself?
Chilling, like really chilling. Like I said, I got this Saturday supposed to be my last class to prepare for my test. I took the first class, it went by like really quick, 4 weeks, so I signed up for another class. So this one ends Saturday, and so hopefully after that, I'm gonna try to register for that test like late spring, like early summer. So
we'll be making the big bucks.
Wish me luck on that. But outside of that, everything's been moving pretty good until here recently. My wife just left to go out of town and take her to the airport because her grandmother, who's 95, just had a stroke, and now she is. We got worse, and so now everybody's just trying to be there, support each other because they don't know what's gonna happen. So.
Okay.
I'd ask y'all to keep the Cunningham and Amos family in prayer because they need it right now. So and I'll be headed down to North Carolina tomorrow. Me and the girls will. So
we definitely got Tawana and the family in prayer. I know it's tough, so yeah, definitely. I'm gonna kick to James. I'm gonna go to Shareefah. Then I'm gonna be a swing back because James. You can go ahead and kind of update everybody what's been going on with you.
I've not been chilling. We're in the middle of a remodel at the house. So we're in an apartment for a couple months, maybe a month and a half, who knows. But I'll tell y'all something about get rid of old stuff.
I know firsthand. Trust me, I just went through it.
Tragic. I want to cry. I mean, I done had to get sat down a couple times by my wife. You can't wear that no more. Throw that away. And I'm like, yo, look, I can wear this 34. Get down to 34. I'm a 38, but I'm about to get back down to this 34 again. I'm gonna wear these
that 34 is motivation, man. Keep it
exactly them goals.
Man.
Yeah, man.
But you ain't gonna wear no dang 34 capris. What you call them pants with the cargos?
Yeah.
So it's just it's hard, bro. I'm about to shed a tear about the stuff I've thrown away.
Yeah.
And that I forgot that I had. So that's the embarrassing yet funny part. So we got to go over there this weekend and get rid of the couches. So we're doing upstairs now. Now we got to go down the downstairs, get all the stuff out of there. and got a photo shoot tomorrow. So we just got a lot of stuff. Business is still booming. I mean, normally slow, but we've used marketing to really kickstart our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And we got stuff coming in. So we are really rolling, and we have the nerve to do a remodel at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
good.
If
Look at us
anybody,
in our first little
Keep you
problems.
young.
Huh?
Staying busy keeps us young.
That's a goddamn lie. That's a damn lie. Bad as my damn. I done messed my shoulder. Something's wrong with my shoulder, y'all.
Again?
Like it's a click in that hole. I don't know what's going on with it, man.
Oh, it's not your gout.
No, this arm.
Oh, Jesus.
all kind of elements going on here. Yeah,
Ain't shit young about me, baby. 44, about to be 45. We ain't nothing young. All this stuff clicking and popping. I'm like, what is wrong with me? But we just lifting stuff, throwing it away. So yeah, that's what's going on with your boy.
Yeah, Shareefah, like I know, well, it's not catching up with you. I guess you can kind of tell how things been going this calendar year, and also you might can kind of tell us like your connection to us in regards of, you know, we're all alumni, of course, of North Carolina Central, but
Of course.
You just gave away the lead.
Well, I'm definitely alumni of North Carolina Central University, equal pride. And I am also a Black psychologist. So as many of you all know, with COVID, it's just been an ongoing mental health crisis. So I'm a professor at Howard, and I have a not-for-profit community mental health agency. So it's just been booming on both fronts. I'm also a mom and a wife. I have 4 wonderful sons. One of them is a senior in high school. So it's also college application time.
Yes, where's it going?
Listen, prayer. We don't even know yet. I'm trying to get the boy to figure out. I'm like, are you gonna make a decision? When you gonna decide? I said, let's take the SAT one more time. He's supposed to take it again in March 11th. So I can try to get him some more money. It's just, it's like, I don't remember it being this stressful when I was applying for school.
No stress.
Those years ago. So, it's just been a lot of different stuff. The husband and I are trying to become real estate investors. So hopefully we'll be closing on our first investment property early next month. So that's been a different type of stress, exciting, but still different. But just trying to manage it all, manage family obligations and friends and all of that good stuff.
And Lion Sister, she's Alpha Lambda, y'all. So.
I'm definitely Delta Alpha Lambda, and we had our 20th, so that's actually been put to bed. Since that was like a big thing going into homecoming year, but I'm glad that that's over. But they randomly just sent an email asking who gonna volunteer to organize our 20th class reunion, and I just ignored it. I didn't even respond.
Put it in the inbox, put it in the folder.
Yeah, like not I. Maybe I'll post it in one of the NCCU groups or something, because I'm like, it's not me. I'm not doing that.
I heard they needed some volunteers. Maybe y'all can help. Not me though. You.
I feel bad saying that. Cut that out. Don't.
Yeah, that's what's up though. Well, that's good that everybody seems, you know, like we all trying to make it and striving and just trying to, you know, deal with life, you know, where it presents to us. I think with myself, like I said, it's been kind of up and down. Like I said, I think we last time we record is when we had Nigeria up there, and like I said, we was sharing stories about this whole COVID uptick. Like I said, and I had mentioned that, but I guess since then, it started off pretty good, like, in regards of in the month, had an anniversary trip to Mexico, was Cabo San Lucas. So that was a good little getaway for just the two of us, me and my wife. So that was enjoyable. But then it was just like coming back, trying to get back in the swing of work. It was tough, man. I was just like, yo. And usually when I go somewhere, I kind of feel recharged. But I was still, I guess I must have been on vacation time and stuff still at that point. But then like just trying to get into that, you know, I had like some devastating news. And it's something I kind of been struggling with this in regards of just even wanted to share this even on this platform. But because I lost a very close friend of mine, and because I know him so well, I kind of thought if he was, still here with me, he wouldn't mind me talking about. Actually, probably would encourage it actually if he was still here. Yeah,
Right.
kind of that's his personality. But one of my real close friends, Chris, had passed away February 4th, and it was just kind of just go hard, and saying it came out of nowhere. Like I said, it's been a tough toll on me, and like I said, it's other close friends and everything else, so it's just been real hard. Yeah, so just been trying to like really get through that. I just definitely wanted to dedicate this this particular show, this episode, to Chris, and just share a little light about him, whatever, and stuff, and what he meant to me. And I guess it's one of the pluses of be able to have your own, have a platform for any of us to want to, kind of stir off the normal, routine, I guess, in a sense, because like I said, this is our stories, and I look at something we want to share. We got people maybe come after if they want to know how Jermaine or how Kashara, or, we all, got, someone got kids, got nephews, nieces, and stuff like that. They can see a different side of us. So I just want to make sure I just hold Chris up and let him know, that I actually love him, man. And like I said, it's just been tough because I never really, I've lost peers, I lost people I know, you know what I mean? But I might not have been as close with them, but somebody that's very personal to you, that, you shared experiences with, just private information and vice versa. And like to be gone is just, very tough. And I just like, and like me and Chris, we've been friends since like we was 15 years old. He, like I say, he's a one of those New Yorker guys, whatever. He he lets you know every chance he get. But like I said, he had moved from South Jamaica, Queens, to the military housing. My parents in the military, as y'all know, whatever. So it was a group of us that kind of stood together from different parts of the country, and we all kind of banded together. And like I said, we was like 15 years old, just kind of doing things and just hanging out, chasing girls, playing ball, the normal stuff to do. What I'm saying? And we all clicked up real good. But Chris still always stayed close, throughout the whole time. And of course, like you said, y'all met him before,
Right.
So yeah, I kind of have an idea of Chris' personality, whatever, and stuff. But I just,
Let me interject real quickly and tell a quick story.
Sure.
Chris is the person I got this from. He said, send those girls over there a cup of water on me.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's how smooth he was as a guy. Like, who would think to do that? Send them around the waters on me. And the witches would send the waters. And the girls were like, what you doing?
Yeah, he do that stuff just to get a reaction out of it.
It
worked.
But it'll be an icebreaker.
I still use it to this day.
Yeah, because it's funny, it's unexpected, and it's just whatever. But that's the type of person he is. He's like a person just like a life of the party. He is saying it's real free spirit to the point where he just really didn't care. He was just free, period. Like he just do what he does. And he made some people, I think his son had said at his funeral just how he might be a rule breaker, which he exactly is, because he'll definitely cross some lines. But that was just what he was, and that's how he moved. And I kind of respected that, because I might be more stringent and trying to, I guess, more going by the rules. He just like, I'm doing me, and I don't care. But I kind of, like I said, admire that. He's real life of the party, man. And a great storyteller. Like he can tell a story and it make you feel like, I don't know if you ever met somebody that can tell you something and you might not be there, but by the time you tell a story, it's so detailed and entertaining. You feel like you was there and seen it. And I don't think that's something that everybody can just do. Like that was one of the things that he did so well. I'm just gonna miss that. Taught himself how to speak Spanish on his own. Because like I said, Chris ain't finna talk. He got like a GD, but very bright, very, a very bright person. Very intelligent, great long-term memory, can hold a conversation with anybody. And that's the thing, like I said, that I really, really just want to miss those things and just having those conversations with them and stuff, man. And I think part of it was just the fact that I don't know. I'm just thankful. I'm not going to ramble on too much, man. But I just want to kind of I just really wanted to highlight him, man. To tell how much I love him, and the three things I'm thankful that I got a chance to kind of know is the fact that in the past 6 months he had sent me stuff and how he's trying to get more reconnected with God, and he was talking about saying his relationship with that. And once he passed, I was finding some of the old texts and stuff that we had discussed about, and that kind of like warms my heart knowing that was what he was actually leaning towards. The fact that I appreciate that we always gave each other flowers. And I think we do amongst ourselves too. Like we tell each other we appreciate about a person, appreciate, and how much we care about each other and stuff like that. And that's, it's not one of those moments where you're like, damn, I wish I said this, or I wish I could told him how I felt. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I appreciate you when you do this. And, and we did it to each other. And I'm glad I was able to share that. And I think the last thing that really kind of set with me was the fact that I talked to him 2 days before he passed away. And we had a good long conversation, good hour and a half conversation. And not knowing that was been my last conversation with him and how much it hurt that is the last conversation I had with him, but I'm still grateful for the fact that I had that moment in that time to be able to just really kick it, laugh, and everything else, and then just hear about somebody passing away unexpectedly, man. I just, I was trying to find a silver lining in a very tough situation, man. And yeah, man, and I think the other thing too, he just like if he wanted to do like a podcast, which I think he would did a great, wonderful job because he just one of those people where if somebody like he had the talent to do whatever it is, whether it was like rapping or just entertaining or whatever the case may be, if he was put in the right situation in order to do it, I know he would succeed to be like somebody who could have been famous, whatever. Sometimes you got to have a little bit of luck in the right place and the right timing. But as far as talent goes, he had it. You know what I'm saying? He had an it factor, and he was just one of those people who doesn't see a stranger, man. He was, so. I don't know. I mean, it's all to say. I just, just wanted to just give Chris a shout out to him. I love him, man. And you know what I'm saying? It's just hard. I want to tell y'all I love y'all too as well. Because like I said, it's one of those things that you don't want to take anything for granted. Because like I said, it's had me thinking about death and life and you know what I mean, and a whole lot. And just at some point, we all gonna have to face those situations where we're gonna lose somebody close, whether it's gonna be a parent, whether it's gonna be a sibling, a spouse, a child, anything, either they're gonna be burying you or you're gonna be burying them. And I think it's one of those things where we get, at least I'm speaking for myself, you get so caught in life, you don't really think about it until it actually hit. So like I said, I want to tell y'all how much I care about y'all too, man, and everything. So I don't know. I don't want to ramble on. I was gonna play this music thing, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. But Jermaine, I'm gonna let you go ahead, man. And you can just kind of lead on.
No doubt. You sure? You good?
Yeah. I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right. Okay. So, you know what? I'm gonna kind of fall back from the script a little bit too. I wanna first say this about Chris. I met him down in New Orleans, and we actually had like an hour and a half conversation. I think I was cutting everybody head in the hotel room, and Chris came up and I cut his hair, and we were talking about Spanish, and I was telling him I lived abroad and stuff. So I said, Chris, I said, so I said, yo, how did you become fluent in Spanish? He was like, just hollering at the chicks.
Yeah.
That was
and that's the truth, man.
I said, Chris, I said, so you became fluent just hollering at Dominican. He's like, yeah, just hollering at Dominican chicks. Like I ain't have a choice. What he was saying was, and it makes sense. Me living abroad, I get it. Especially in countries where they don't, English is not the first language. But he just was saying how it was more effective if he was fluent in Spanish in
It
terms
would
of
help
being.
the situation.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I said, man, that's ingenious. So
Man.
I cut his hair, man. We just chopped it up. And we just, a matter of fact, we hung out that night. I think everybody else was kind
Yeah,
of,
we went and had cigars.
yeah. We hung out. So he was a good dude, man. Really good dude. And um, the thing about, well, here's the thing too. So here's what I want to do, guys. Everybody, I want to, when it comes to coping with death, what does that mean to us individually? I'm not gonna ramble on, but I do want to share this. The pandemic popped off in 2020. Within 9 months, I lost 5 family members. Okay.
Mhm.
Now my family members were close to me, but they helped raise me, but they were older. Then I started finding out about friends who were in our age bracket who were passing away, and I just found out 2 weeks ago that 4 folks I know died in the same week.
Mm.
The same week.
Mm.
Uh, you know, Now, here's my point. I think sometimes, I know for me, through death, I was able to examine life more. I think sometimes we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle, or we get so caught up, um, um, we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that we forget to live and we forget what life means. So, with that being said, Shareefah, I just want to get your take on what coping, and you're a psychiatrist too, so I'm sure you probably can approach it in a philosophy, theoretical way, or just from personal experiences. But what does that mean to you?
Well, I want to first say that I didn't think anything much about death growing up or even in my psychology training. But my mom actually passed while I was in graduate school. And even though I'm from Cincinnati, my mom moved to DC my first year of graduate school to help me take care of my son. And then because she had treatment in DC, they said come back because her cancer had came back. And so literally my mom went to the Obama inauguration in January, was great, walking, cussing me out, leaving me there because I wasn't walking fast enough because it was cold. And that May, she was dead. And it was something I could not prepare for. Yeah. And I think that is the one thing about grief is that even though we know that people we love are going to die, it is always sudden. It is always traumatic. It is never anything that we are prepared for. Mm-hmm. And so coping with grief is really, for me, about sort of what Jamie talked about, the idea that we will have things in our closet that will come out, that will be with us forever, even if it has gone out of style. You tired of being sad, you tired of thinking about these people, you tired of feeling that way. But those are going to be the things, coping, it's going to stay with you. The grief is going to stay with you and it is going to ebb and flow. And so we really have to make space for it. We have to be doing like this to talk about it, to tell the stories of the people who have gone on, to do things to commemorate them, to cry if we feel like we need to cry, to laugh about the good things that they did, because it is something that is going to stay with us. And I think that that's the first thing that we have to do when we cope with grief. And that's what I had to do. Because it was a point where I was like, I just want to get back to normal, right? Like people keep saying that with COVID, like when we gonna get back to normal? It's like, ain't no normal, ain't no getting back to normal. Like
whatever that
was, this is it, So now we have to like make space for that new reality. And it doesn't always have to be a sad one though, right? Like there are times when I would call my mama and be cracking up like, and they're gonna eventually be those times and memories about Chris and other individuals that we may have lost as well.
Right. You know what? Just to kind of echo what you said, I think a big part of it is knowing when to get help, which is talking about it, support groups, knowing when to take care of yourself as well, so that you don't get so overwhelmed to where you're shutting down in spaces where you should be shutting down. And I think the other part about it is always, like you said, recognizing people's legacy and keeping their names ringing. But more importantly, too, I think through death, I think we should examine ourselves, right? And reflect on the things we need to do just to maintain or be healthy in certain areas as well, from mental to physical to emotional. I think me personally, and this may be a stretch, but I think every time we experience death, whether it's close or far, I think, a part of us a part of us, we shift to, whether that's up or down, right? And depending on how impacted we are from that particular death. But I think the main thing is processing it, grieving, however we need to grieve, whatever that means. If that's a year, if that's just trying to stay remain as possible, right? So, Kashara, what about you? What is coping with death mean to you?
It looks different for me because the first time I actually dealt with death, I was 12, and it was when my grandmother passed. And, we were really close, as I told y'all before, we were super close. And death was not something that was talked about in my house. I don't know who house it was talked about. Some people may talk about something, but I guess as a child, you never really hear about how people cope with death. People have died, but you really don't get to go through or see what they go, how they dealt with it. You know what I mean? You might see, people crying and falling all out and stuff like that, but you don't know, especially at 12, you don't know what that is or what that looks like. Yeah. So for me, I went into a state of shock. Like, as close as we were, I did not shed a tear. I wasn't sad. I have no emotion. I was like emotionless. I really went into a state of shock. And even at the funeral, I remember I didn't cry, which was, looking back on it, was weird to me. But it did not hit me until I was 22. Like, from 12, it happened, nothing. Like, I didn't have no type of emotion. When I was 22 years old, I remember I was driving to work. I was working in Butner at the time. I think I was 22 or 23. I was driving to Butner, and all I know is like something just came over me. Like, I was thinking about it driving to work, and I just like boohoo crying like all the way to work, like the whole time. Like, and I was like, what is wrong? Like, I could not understand like why it was hitting me now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I went through that whole process. So like even so at 22, I had that one moment. So from 22 to like maybe 32, I thought about it like almost every day. I had my emotions like going up and down, trying to figure out, how to process it. Didn't really know. Even talked to a therapist about it. But that didn't even work. I couldn't figure it out, But at 32, I remember one night I had a dream, and I woke up crying from the dream. And I remember in that dream, for some reason, we were sitting in the back of a pickup truck in the driveway on that house in Martha Street that, her house that I grew up in. We were sitting in the back of a truck, and she was holding my hand, and she said, I'm okay. She said, you can let me go. I want you to live your life. I'm okay. I just remember hearing that over and over. And I woke up like in tears. And so when I remember going back talking to my therapist about it, and he was saying basically that's what it was. Like, you didn't know how to release it. You didn't know how to let go. You were still holding on to her. And so that's why it was that ongoing thinking about her every day. But when she told me in the dream she was okay, it's like I was fine after that. I was like, I still think about her, of course, but it's not that up and down emotional roller coaster that I was going through like for all those years, and I couldn't figure out why. But that was the connection we had. So when she told me she was okay, it seemed like it was just something that it was lifted off of me. You know what I mean? And ever since then, I've been okay. So as far as the coping part, I don't know how I cope with it. I don't know. I can't really answer that question, but I just know the dream did it for me. You know what I mean? I was okay. But now, like when I hear certain songs, I think about her. Like, she was really heavy in the gospel music. She used to sing with what's your girl? The collard greens, potatoes. What's her name? Caesar. Yeah, yeah. She used to sing background for her. They used to sing together in church. So every time I see Shirley Caesar or I hear her, I think about her, and I just about all those memories come back. So it's just memories for me. I guess that's how I cope with it.
Right. And you know what? Because Cheryl, everybody, I think I'm thinking this just crossed my mind. I think the first thing that prepared me for death at a young age, and this is it's kind of sad to say, but it's the truth. Was my dad relinquished his rights to be a dad. I think that was the first time I felt a deathful experience. You understand what I'm saying? And that may have taken place when I was around 6, 7, 8 years old. And I swear, I think that's what prepared me moving forward. In addition to like my spirituality, in terms of death, that helps as well. But to be able to brace myself for it, not that I don't think about it or I'm not grieving, right? I think that really helped me at an early age to prepare for it. And that's just my, part of my reality when it comes to that.
Can I
Jamie? No, I'm
Can
sorry.
I
Go ahead,
jump in
sis.
real quick? I just want to say, so, both of you are describing things that we talk about in terms of grief. One, especially in Black grief, right? Like one that is cumulative and it doesn't just start with death, right? So that we experience loss of parenting relationships, loss of employment and other things, right? And that can create grief, but also that it's cumulative. So that all of these losses and all of these things build up. And then our response will include spiritual, right? Metaphysical experiences, wanting to seek family members in dreams, feeling connected to them. But then also, what Kishara pointed out was this sort of distance and disassociation. Like, I can't deal with it right now. I don't have the space, even for this decade, right? From 12 to 22. So I'll just put it over here and not look at it and not engage with it. And that is a form of coping. We like to think that coping is just the good stuff, but coping is all of the stuff that we do to make it, right? And to survive.
Right.
And then when we take it down and we have space to deal with it, it can hit us just like it happened the day before. And so I just want to make sure that, we all understand and the listeners understand that those are what we understand to be a part of coping with grief and dealing with it. And it's all normal. It's all normal.
Right.
Definitely.
Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
man.
It makes sense.
Mr. Patterson, what are you thinking?
So, being from Red Springs, what that indicates is that, in the South, you don't have a large family. In my case, I had a large family on both sides, mama's side and my father's side, but also on my grandfather's side and my grandmother's side. So I have dealt with death quite often. I could tell you a myriad of things. I'll give you one. My stepfather stepped into my room one Saturday morning to say, not hello, or Jamie, wake up. It was your Uncle Joe died. I mean, like, yo, that's rude. Can I wake up? Could you wake me up? Be nice about it. But that's how often death was assigned. I mean, because so many family members, such poor diets, and just old people. So I was accustomed to death early. The one that hurt me most, the two, was my grandmother and my grandfather. I remember crying with my sister when my grandmother died. That was such a freeing cry. We cried in the back of my Uncle Squeaky's house. I just remember crying, and that cry felt like it went to the ancestors, just went like up into the sky to my grandma. I just remember that feeling. I can remember it now. And I remember when my granddaddy died, I felt like, he wasn't gonna go too much further because my grandmother passed in 97 and my grandfather passed in 99. I'm sorry, she died summer 98, he died summer 99. So he didn't go but a good year past my grandma. And we all knew that. And it wasn't gonna last because she was the one who made everything shake around the house.
Matriarch.
There's
The
usually how it
real
happens,
life matriarch.
especially when they so close and been together so long.
Right.
Yeah, been together forever, had 7 children. So I had gotten accustomed. I was used to death. His mother, my grandfather's mother died, and that was my great grandma. So it's like I've been dealing with death literally my entire life. So it wasn't this thing that it happened often in Red Springs, North Carolina. You can name it. I had classmates die. One of my good friends, Carlos, I still have not dealt with that one because that was when I was, and I remember hearing how he died. It was, so Carlos had 5 siblings. He was the youngest. And I remember my stepfather coming in the house again and said, one of them Brown boys died. I was thinking to myself, and I apologized in that minute when I thought, I hope it's Charles. I was like, he's like, no, it's Carlos. And I just couldn't believe it. So that's the first child death when I was a kid. So, I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. So you just deal with it.
Right.
Because I've been dealing with it for so long.
Yeah. I mean,
And I think too, I think what you just said, Jamie, I think that's the blueprint for Black Death. I think that's what we do. I think we're programmed
Deal
to
with
be
it.
so strong, men and women, and we're programmed to
Mhm.
be so have a tolerance for pain.
Yeah.
That when we get older and we find out that therapy is okay, it shouldn't be
Mhm.
blasphemy or be forbidden to seek therapy. Um, you know what I mean? I think that's just part of that's how we're wired, and we're conditioned to think that. You
Mhm.
know, my bad, Kwame. What were you gonna say?
Nah, yeah, yeah, and I was just about to say, like, 'cause I mean, of course, I have, family members and of the past now is, of course, affected in a way. But I don't know why this feel different. I guess because, like I said, we're close to age, and it's like a different experience versus your grandma or your great,
Mhm.
like a great uncle or something like
Yeah,
that. Like,
this is
yeah, that's
personal.
blood. I love
Right.
them. It's like, you know,
Mhm.
but they wasn't with me up in the club doing XYZ
No,
or
they
doing
was
here
not.
playing
They
ball.
was
So it's
doing
a whole
tricks.
different experience for me. And it's just like now I think since this took place recently, like me find out, I've been waking up probably almost every day about 4:45 in the morning around that time every day. Except I think I slept a little bit longer since last Thursday. Maybe the past week I might have been doing a little bit better, but I would wake up every morning and it's like on my mind. Or like I said, Chris was a heavy Knicks fan. Talk trash about it, and everything. And I'm like waiting to get these texts from him or whatever, and knowing they're not coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or so it's those things as far as me just trying to figure out like, how I'm gonna do it. And I think I've been a little bit withdrawn. I don't know how I look from outside looking in, but like I have my moments where I just be kind of just want to be to myself. And then sometimes I be trying, I'll be all right, but I'll be lying if I say I'm not really struggling though. But I just, I guess it's gonna take time.
Yeah, I think it's
And they
normal.
do say is go ahead. Joel.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say because what you just said is from you saying that, and I was gonna ask Shareefah, what is your thoughts on it? I guess different types of death, like Kwame was saying, like a family member, a grandmother, aunt, uncle, compared to a friend. Because I know when I was talking to Worry about this, he was like, he's experienced a lot of death with a lot of close friends, and he's also experienced death, like his grandmother too, But he's like, it's a different type of hurt. He said, you hurt. He's like, but it's something different when it's a close friend. He said it's a different type of hurt. He's like, because that friend knows stuff about you. They know when it's gonna make you cry, when it's gonna make you laugh. They know when the bones are buried. Like they know all the stuff about you. But he was like, it's just a different type of hurt. Would you
I
agree
think
with
it's the
that, Shareefah? Because I haven't experienced that yet. Thank
Yeah,
God.
I mean, I think however people ascribe closeness, it's going to be a different type of hurt. So if you are like, I really feel connected to this person, it's going to feel like the grief is different. And especially if you see yourself with them, right? Like when we are experiencing death of people who are parallel and our peers, that also shakes us like, wait a minute, like it could have been me. Why isn't it me? Why am I here? They not here. And then these pieces about our story, right? Like, because when they pass, the story of us and the relationship of us,
Goes away.
we feel is lost too, right? And so a part of it has to be like, if you're waking up at 4:45 every morning, I would tell you just to go ahead and write, right? Like get out those thoughts, get out, have a conversation, get up, commune with him or with your thoughts and your feelings and really let it out because you don't want to keep it in.
Yeah.
That sometimes is the fatigue. People are like, I'm so sleepy, I'm so tired, because we're trying, our body, our everything is working so hard to like suppress what wants to come up and out. So you have to get it out, right?
Yeah.
I would also, I encourage Black people, us professionals, to also think about some of the ways that our elders grieved, right? Like it's nothing to go into a Black grandmother's house and see everybody's funeral pamphlet out
Yes.
somewhere, right?
In the
Like
Bible, yeah.
creating those sort of altars and memorials for people really works. It really commemorates them, right? seeing people when they spray paint RIP like that, like, let me commemorate your life and make sure that your life meant something, is something that really helps with the grieving process, right?
Right.
Thinking about spiritual coping, right? Like connecting and trying to make meaning to the loss. Because what we know with anything that is traumatic or hurtful, if we can't be like, why did this happen and how does this make sense? It is gonna just bounce around in us like a pinball machine, and it's just gonna touch and hit everything. So you really do have to try to work on making meaning. And a lot of people use what we call narrative therapy. So like telling different parts of your story with Chris, telling Chris's story, telling how you feel your story is now that he has passed. All of those things sort of help make sense of the grief too.
Hey, you know what? I never met Ahmaud Arbery or George Floyd, but I had to do that. I had to write some stuff down. Like I cried on both of those when I found out. So it just impacted me. I mean, it's just something about Black death to me. Well, to me, it's all synonymous. You understand what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, the grassroots level, we've all experienced the same thing. It's too many commonalities.
Right.
And me even being a professor, like talking to my students about death and just seeing how now, and I'm not saying there's a difference between when we came through and students now, but they're so fragile. Like I have psychiatrists emailing me now because students just can't take elements of the pandemic or death, and it's just different with us. It hits different. So I would say, Kwame, man, listen, deal with it how you need to deal with it in your time. Shareefah was right. I believe you should definitely write some things out.
Yeah.
You
I
need to see it
appreciate
on.
some of the stuff I'm hearing because, like I said, it's something I haven't thought about. And I think, like, hearing that is giving me other methods, like I said, to kind of trying to, I know it's going to take time to figure it out. Like I said, I have a counselor too, so I'm going to talk to him as well. But I'm hearing that there's some great ideas and a way of thinking about it. So I definitely appreciate everybody's feedback on this because it makes a lot of sense, So I want to thank y'all for that.
I'll just add one more thing.
Go ahead.
Because one of the things that I talk about in grief, and especially Black grief, is the need to intertwine social justice and social justice advocacy. When you all are speaking about Black people not eating good or Black people dying because of racial violence, and us having lower life expectancies than all of other racial groups, right?
Right.
We know that death is promised to everyone, but not everyone is promised a long life. And unfortunately, that's too many for African Americans. And so we have to use our grief as a grief movement, as something that we push back against food deserts, environmental injustice, racial violence, political violence. And oftentimes when we activate our grief and move into social justice movements, we feel empowered, right? When you think about mothers of the movement and them losing their sons and them being like, I'm about to get involved in politics and to push back against these forces that I think really negatively impacted my family and my community, that also helps us transform our grief from feeling possibly victimized to feeling empowered to do something to impact change. So you can think about those things also. And not necessarily everybody wants to do that. Some of the smaller ways that we do that is like when we do diabetes walks, right?
Yeah.
Like when we create scholarships in our grandmothers or in people's names, like those are examples of using our grief in a form of social justice and advocacy. And so I always encourage people to think about that and also to make it a collective thing. We are collective people, like it's so great that you got your brothers. This podcast is 4-time dope. You got a collective power of people who support you, who want to pour into you. And there are so many people that loved the people that we have lost. So you also want to lean into them because they are probably feeling some of the things that you are feeling. And so say, hey, I just want to check in, how you doing? And they'll be the ones that'll shoot the breeze with you about Chris, be like, you remember when he did that? Like, oh, I just found this picture of y'all, and all of those things will help you too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I definitely believe in that, Phil. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that topic. Let's try to pivot. That was a great topic. I must say, we all did a great job. We did a great job, everybody.
This coming from the
So
heart.
I wanna pivot to personal tipping habits and general etiquette. Where are you in your etiquette and personal tipping habits? Uh, Myself, I prefer to be a gentleman. They call me the gentleman, young Stedman Graham, as you were. Um, I took the etiquette class at Central twice. So it's a course, and I took it twice, and I took it serious. To this day, you eat outside in, and
He made me take one of them with him. I took the first one with me.
see, I'm not playing when it comes to etiquette and tipping. So, Kasharo, I will kick it to you. How are you about your personal tipping and general etiquette while out in the city?
As an adult now, I understand the purpose of it, why it's important, and why I should tip. Because I can tell you one of my first trips to New York City. I was online when me and Warrior met. I think it was a spring break. We went to New York. I took Tawana to New York, and we went to this restaurant. And we eat. The bill come, we pay. I might have left like a couple of dollars on the table or whatever. We leave. That waitress ran out that restaurant and asked us, yo, did I do something wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, you didn't tip me. Like, why you didn't tip me? I was looking at her like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like
money on the
off
table.
guard. And it was like, they live off their tips. Like, they don't get paid that much per hour, so the tips are very important to them. And mind you, she was a good waitress, but I'm still in college, not knowing
and like, you online.
I need to tip her more. So I learned from that experience. However, I do tip now. I always try to give at least 15-20% if I feel like you did a good job. You know what I mean? Because just because you waitressing don't mean you're gonna get a good tip from me. Like, I gotta really feel like the customer service is like really good for me to tip you. Like, I always leave a tip, but if the service was bad, it's gonna be the bare minimum. Believe that. But if the service was good, you do what you're supposed to do, I would definitely tip you. But what I don't like of tipping is we just went to this restaurant recently in Richmond called the Croker Spot after my daughter's cheerleading competition, and the food was okay. And the waitress, she was excellent. Like, she was funny. Like, she catered to us and everything. She was like bomb. So the bill came, and I was gonna give her the normal 20%. But when I looked at the bill, I was like, yo, like, this bill is like $30 more than what it's supposed to be. And I was like, did you ring up something wrong? She was like, no. She was like, we automatically put on gratuity on every bill, no matter how many people come. And so it's like for me, and it's for like the bar backs and all the guys who come and take the dirty stuff off the table, like all that's added onto the bill. And I was like, what?
That should be the cost of the food.
So I was like, oh, so basically I got her tip. But because she was so good, I still gave her an additional $20 tip, just for her. But that right there, I don't like that. Like, if I had known that beforehand, I wouldn't have been as caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't like going nowhere and you automatically putting a gratuity on and then tell me. That's
not gonna say if it's a party of 10 or more, but not everything.
It was four of us. Come on. Yeah, I was like, it was $30 more than what it should have been. So situations like that, I really have an issue with, but I still did it, because she was a Black girl, so I was trying to help her sister out, and she was good, but yeah. So to answer your question, I do tip. I have good tipping practices.
Shareefah, like she has something you want to say.
Right after the pandemic in DC, they put all gratuity on all of the things, and then they was charging you a COVID tax. So they were doing 20% mandatory gratuity and then an additional 10% for COVID tax. I said, they out here. I went back in the house immediately. I was like, we back inside.
America's the only place where we pay taxes on taxes.
On taxes.
Yes.
Taxes on tax.
So okay. As far as your etiquette skills, Kasharo, I mean, are you good with those? Outside in, soup, spoon, that kind of thing?
I think so for the most part. I don't think I have honestly, I think I'm still rusty on,
Uh-huh.
which is actually from that first class you took me to, is
Yeah.
the fork, the salad fork. Which one?
Outside in. It's the first fork.
So that's the only one I was still shaky on. And my wife, she gets so mad we out in public and
Yeah.
I grab the wrong fork. I'm like, who looking? Like, why?
Nobody's looking.
Who watching me? Like, why are you get so mad about this?
Yeah.
But, so I'm still shaky on that.
It's rules to the game. All right, Shareefah. So, I mean, how bad is it in DC in regards to like eating pre-COVID and
Legit, I feel like I'm a good tipper. I feel like that's a good form of charity. So I
Yeah.
even put little dollars in like Chipotle where they have like a little tip bucket. Like
Yeah,
I
the
put a
bucket.
little dollar, you know. But can I just tell y'all that yesterday I was so mad because I ordered Uber Eats. It took an entire hour. I already tipped the driver because I'd be like, let me put my tip on early so
he can
they don't
see.
mess my food up.
Right.
He get there and then brought me some insomnia cookies. And I'm like, ma'am, this is not what I ordered. I ordered my dinner.
A meal.
And then she looking at me, I'm looking at her, and Uber refunds me the money, but still give her tip. I was like, I'm about to get my little. I was
Tell me your cookies are great though.
I don't want no cookies. I want some
didn't even
turkey.
eat the cookies. I was so mad. I was looking at, I was like, I was so upset. That's the one time that I was like, I wish I could get my tip back just yesterday. But I try to be a good tipper. I try my best. But I was so mad yesterday. I want my $5.72 back.
Ah, that's a lot of money to give somebody. $5?
That was 20%. I do 20% every time, unless not even unless. But then, like Kashara was saying, they didn't told us that you got to start carrying cash now to give it straight to the waitress. So I didn't even started trying to do that, like because it come in a gratuity, but it go to everybody. Right. So I'm like, well, the waitress might need her own little $5 or her own little,
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
yeah.
Okay. Jermaine, what's up with your tipping habits over in China and parts unknown?
Right. So, okay. So let's start with America first, right? So here, because as an adult, I've been more compassionate about this whole domestic worker situation. Like, I don't mind tipping 20%, 15 to 20%. Now, if the waitress is like abysmal or just not good, I don't have a problem not tipping, right? So I was recently in this spot in DC called Chef Jeff's near campus. The salmon is off the charts. Food is great. My waitress, awesome. You know how sometimes a waitress can overdo it. You can't even eat because they're just saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like she was timing it out. She would like kind of come in, come out, whatever the case may be. So I tipped her pretty well. But two, gratuity was already attached to the meal. So I think that's a thing now.
Well,
but
I
here
don't
was
like that thing.
right. So you gotta be careful about that. You gotta ask, right? You gotta ask before you sit down and eat. Like, look, is gratuity incorporated into the meal? Yada yada yada. But the funny thing about living in China, when I was living in China, I will never forget the first time I tried to tip. It was I took a taxi a long way to the mall, and the dude kept pushing my hand away, like rudely pushing my hand away. In my mind, I'm like, first of all, stop touching me. Second of all, why you pushing my hand away? That type of thing, right?
Take this money, fool.
But so it's considered like embarrassing and rude to tip in China. Like it really is, unless you like stay at like a 5-star hotel or something like that.
And they understand.
Yeah. But like to tip anywhere, man, taxis or at dinner, like they'll tell you straight up, like, no, I'm not gonna take it. Like I can't take it. And that's just like a countrywide policy. Like it's considered rude and embarrassing, and like it's not a part of the Asian culture, at least where I was living. And I traveled all over that great country, from southern China to northern China, everywhere. I was everywhere, right? But in terms of etiquette, yeah, I'm mindful of starting on the outside and working my way in the inside. I remember this is something that stuck out with me from high school. Like I took that course like my sophomore year in high school, and I took it again my senior year in high school. And it's always just been in the back of my mind, right? You know what I'm saying? Like what to do when I'm out and especially now professionally, like rubbing elbows with these folks and stuff like that. These different types of folks are trying to close these deals. You need to make sure at least you can hold your own in those kind of spaces. But other than that, I don't mind tipping. But like I said, the only way I'm turned off about tipping is if the service it sucks. It's just poor. Like I believe at that point, you know, my tip needs to align with your service. I mean, it is what it is. That's just my way of thinking. So
yeah, you shouldn't be guilt tripped into tipping.
right.
I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna ask you before I go. Do y'all tip when y'all do like a pickup? Like you going to pick up an order from a restaurant? Like you bringing it home?
No, if I'm not eating,
I did the work.
Yeah, I don't do it either. Really, I may tip a little bit if I do the curbside. And it's not coming bring to the car, then it won't be a whole lot, it'll be a couple dollars. But if I'm going inside to get it and I'm grabbing whatever, then I don't.
You don't tip McDonald's, so don't start tipping whomever because you're feeling like you've been guilt tripped into tipping.
If I go to a nice takeout restaurant, I still give them a little tip.
I might give it to the people at McDonald's and Burger King.
I probably, now that you mention it, I probably do need to give it to them. You right.
Well, I mean, I was more asking the question.
Let's start it here right now.
I didn't know if it was the right thing to do or not, but I ain't tipping when I thought I might be wrong.
You gonna get the people fired tipping at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's how I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute, my McDonald's by my house kind of sketchy. They might be sliding something. They might
be like, so you want some fries or something?
I'll be like, wait a minute, I ain't order that.
So look, if y'all order pizza.
Yeah.
If I order pizza, I tip them.
Deliver, yeah.
But you got to come to the house to bring it to me.
Yeah, I would. But yeah, if I'm picking it up from the spot, I'm not tipping. But
that's probably the first person we started tipping was the pizza guy.
Right, that's my point. Right.
But Jermaine, that's that question like you don't tip the pizza truck. That's why the way you asked it.
Look. Dog say you don't tip.
Listen, let me be clear. I tip.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not eating in the spot, I just don't tip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't do it.
Yeah, I think in regards with me though, like I don't even like the restaurant stuff is kind of like to me is just standard. But I'm thinking about like even when if I go somewhere and stay at and this is my own little thing, stay at a hotel. I always try to, not always, most of the time I try to leave like a tip for like the maid service.
Yeah, housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping. Yeah. So one time I used to leave it just for the weekend, but I thought about it because it might be a different like housekeeper on one day versus the other. So now what I do is trying to like I'll set up a certain amount, maybe like $5 a day or something. I actually either try to find the housekeeper or ask if she's working in my room, make sure
put it in the hand.
Pick in the hand so they make sure they get it, whatever and stuff. So that's one of the things I customly do when I stay at a hotel. And like I said, I just recently went to Mexico. So, the problem I was having is I had these big bills and then people had no change. So I think now moving forth now, I'm going to try to make sure that I make it a purpose to go to the bank and make sure I get
tens and fives
bills and get, if it's $100 worth of like 20s and fives.
Bro, tens and fives.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So at that point, I'm not struggling trying, especially if you're out of the country. It might be a little different in country, but if I'm out of the country and it's hard to get to an ATM or get to a bank, I already have that because, a lot of those places you're going for like tourism stuff, they depend on the tipping. So, you struggling trying to, break a 50 or 100 or something, and they don't even have the stuff, then you can like, damn, you brought me all the way to from this hotel, from the airport, and I got nothing to give you. And they be looking at you all messed up, you know what I mean? Like, I can't give you this 100, but so it's just those things like that I try to work on. And I think in terms of etiquette, I'm thinking of etiquette of like going to certain events, not necessarily like, like eating, but it's more or less like going to a wedding or something like that, and I don't know, to me, this maybe just me, I find it almost mind-boggling if you go on somebody, I'll use a wedding, go on somebody's wedding, and they paying this hard bill, and you know what I'm saying, you eating this expensive food, and you're not like really giving the wedding party or giving something, you know what I mean? Like, you're not even paying for the plate, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of, you know what I mean? So I look in terms of making sure, I'd give you something somewhat decent. It doesn't have to be, the most expensive thing, but something. And I think some people don't have no issue with doing it, or they don't think about it. But also, I think it's some of these etiquette and tipping things are things you learn with life and experience and stuff too. Because like you said, but Kashara, so when you 19, 20, you doing something, you thinking about just barely trying to get by. You're not even thinking about tipping like that. But when you get older and more established and you realize it's how people, survive and they live
Right.
and providing a service, then hopefully you have the mindset to be like, well, let me go ahead and do the right thing and making sure that I do my part. If the service is, is at least up to standard, up to par.
Hey,
That's
yo,
true.
I had a student last semester who did some extensive research on domestic workers, man, and it like really said it opened I got a new perspective on folks who work in the food industry. Like
Oh
seriously,
yeah.
it
Oh yeah,
really
yeah.
she did an excellent job, and she coupled it with this documentary, man, called Waging Change.
Waging change. You know I love documentaries. Check that out.
Man, she did a great job, but it just and the lady by the name of Dorothy, I can't remember Dorothy's last name. She was a black lady, back in the like 1930s or 40s, maybe 50s. She pushed for domestic workers and listen out. So what she presented was the lady named Dorothy. She was doing some, black women were doing like this the maid work for this white couple, and this is crazy. So they wanted Dorothy to stay after and work. She was like, "No, I'm not doing that. You
up.
guys are not paying me." And they had her committed to a insane institution. Because
Dang,
she
just
didn't
for
know how to
not
work.
working?
Yeah, man, it was
Pretty
crazy.
drastic.
Crazy. So anyway, yeah, changed my whole perspective on it.
Gosh. Okay.
But
Go ahead.
I will say if the service is bad, I'm not tipping. This bottom line. It's just
That's
not
bottom
bad.
line.
It's the bottom line.
Hey dog, off the rip.
You be like, I'm looking for a reason I tip you, huh?
But
No,
I
I'm
have
starting
found
to- I'm
that if
starting-
the service is not bad, calling the manager rectifies the situation. Like if I say, can I speak to the manager? They'll want me to be like, oh, we gonna get you this, oh, we gonna get you that. And I don't have no problem. The lady leave or whoever leaves, they put somebody else on my table and
Listen,
it be
you
fine.
are such the black
Shareefah, I ain't doing that,
black
Shareefah.
wife. She's such the black wife with that, y'all. She just with some shit we would never do, like send the food back. I would never.
Man,
With that
I'm not
Faith
doing
Patterson in there, we're gonna call him. Like, we can do that.
I will call a manager because of social media, like they be on it. Like they don't want you discrediting a restaurant, leaving negative reviews. So I listen, I will Karen the mess out of these people. Look, hello, where is the manager?
I'll to all of this up in here.
This don't make any kind of sense. What is this? What is going on?
Yeah, women know their rights to bad service, but they'll get you right. Boy, I think as men, we kind of take a little bit,
take it on the chin. Like,
yeah, probably more than we should.
I'll never come back here again is what I'll do.
Yeah, that's about the most we do.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
Now, if I get mad about something, I'll be trying to I did it yesterday, matter of fact. I'll go, especially now, is I get on Twitter and tag the company and then and make my complaint about whatever it is. And I mean, not said I would get anything, but it's times where I got like stuff because I made a complaint, whatever. And sometimes they'd be like, I'm just sorry. But either way, I'll put it on blast.
Hey, listen,
right.
I should have did that. I went to the movies probably about a month ago. Man, listen, it was so cold in there. I'm talking about it was ski mask cold in there, like freezing that joint. And I called and I fussed them out, yo. I should have just went online and did some Twitter stuff like you, but I snapped out.
I'm telling you, that works, man. It definitely works. I mean, I did it at the furniture company because we had ordered a couch back in October. It's about 10 to 18 weeks, to come. It's just the 18th week now.
China.
Yeah, them people didn't call or do anything. So I remember called and on the phone for about 10 minutes trying to get somebody. Then the phone hung up. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Then I called back again. Long story short, by the time I got in, I was upset, man. I was in there. I tweeted, what was it? Ashley Furniture at Ashley Home Store. I was sending all kind of stuff.
All you suckers, your day is coming.
Yo, them niggas tweeted me like twice since then. You know what I'm saying? Apologizing. I said, don't worry about it. I got my money back. I got my money back now. It don't even matter no more.
It don't matter.
And I ain't coming back no more.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that works. I'm telling y'all.
It does. Well, it's time for our dose of dopeness highlight for this episode. And quite naturally, we got Dr. Shareefah Al-Dukta PhD, your neighborhood psychologist in the building today. She is our dose of dopeness feature for this episode. So Shareefah, take it away. You can let us know what you got going on, what you do, what you've been doing, how the people can find you. Just tell us all the great things that you're doing in the community.
Well, I'll probably be a little too humble, but I'm very excited about what we got going on. So YNC, we received our first grant of $100,000. So we're going to get $100,000 this year and next year to partner with local schools to improve educator wellness. So we want to focus on not just individual mental health, but also the systems that impact Black and brown people. So we are going to start with schools and then hopefully move out to other systems as well. We are also, I just presented a topic last Wednesday on Black grief, and tomorrow, Friday, I'll be presenting on Black family. So blood on the roots, blood on the leaves, radical healing for Black family at Teachers College tomorrow, Friday. I am also getting ready to welcome an incoming class into Howard University. So congratulations to all the people who completed interviews this week. So we will be trying to select people who we will be offering. I have 2 book chapters that should be coming out this year, both on African-American Muslim mental health and healing. And I am able to be reached. Follow me on social media, Instagram, mostly at Your Neighborhood Psychologist. And if you are in the DMV area, you can email me and go to my website, yourneighborhoodclinic.org.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
that's great. HU, but y'all catching that L on this Saturday with the Eagles coming up in town. But yeah, probably too.
I still rep Central.
You don't give a shit about no Howard basketball.
Exactly.
I mean, I ain't gonna
You know
say that
what
because
it
they pay me an hour. But if it's Central versus Howard, I always go with my real. I feel like Central, my real alma mater. I always go with my alma mater.
That's what you So
Exactly.
before you go, Kasharo, please y'all let me give a quick story about our dear guest here. So it's about me, so it's not a bad story about you, not at all. So we're in San Francisco together. She and I got our master's degrees from Central. We were doing this alcohol study. So we got all this data and stuff. So we had to go out to San Francisco to present. So the night before we go back home to North Carolina, I get with one of the bruhs and we get shit-faced drunk. I ain't never gotten this drunk before. So Shareefah and everybody say, we got to be downstairs at 4 a.m. to catch the plane at 6. So I go straight from the strip club to the room to get my stuff and then downstairs. And I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm staggering. And Shareefah said, God damn, you smell like liquor. And I just felt so bad because I was trying to look like I was, my eyes, but she said, it's coming out your pores. And I said, damn, I couldn't do nothing about it. Yeah. And on that flight, I threw up. Thank God. That's when I was still feeding us food, like full plates.
Right.
And I smelled the food, and you know, if you get in that aisle in the plane, if you don't get out in time, you're stuck. You can't go to the bathroom. And I tell y'all, they'd have had to pull that plane over the way I threw up in that bathroom. Dang. If I had to throw up in the aisle, but thank goodness I got out before they got the tray down my aisle. I mean, they got the thing down to the back of the plane. But that Shareefah set me straight. I said I looked like a damn fool waiting to get on it.
I went there for alcohol study, and then you gonna come and be alcohol.
Got drunk.
You know what it was? It was the cigars. I didn't know that you're not supposed to inhale cigars. I was sick from
it was that liquor. It was that liquor.
And the liquor. And I was just sitting on the plane. That's a 5-hour flight back, y'all. I was dying on that plane.
That gotta be the worst feeling to be drunk on an airplane.
With our professors, he ain't tell you that it was. No, it was our professors there too. Like it was.
I don't give a shit. I didn't give a shit. I was full on Q dog. I was a professional Q. I happened to go to school, but my job was being a Q dog. So I was doing all things Q dog, wilding out, getting drunk on the plane. It's stupid shit like that I was doing. And I had already graduated by that time. That was a gift really to go back to go to San Francisco to present. And all that was just standing there and let people walk by you. Nobody want to talk to no black man about no damn drinking. Like they're like, it's like you just stand there and they just walk by. They just supposed to read your shit. They didn't want to read my black ass, so they just kept on walking. So I got a free trip.
Yeah, free trip on the air.
As an adult, because I was out of school. I was done. That was
God.
summer 02. I just graduated. Yeah. But that's
your Shareefah story.
Hey, look, man. She told me to my face, you stink. Cigars, alcohol, straight to the face. It's coming out your pores.
That's funny.
All right. Well, thanks for that story, Jamie. Thank you, Shareefah, for being a guest tonight. It was really enlightening. I really appreciate you coming on. Like, you gave us some really good information, and so we definitely thank you for that. And hopefully, it can help others listening. Like you said, I'm sure it will. So we thank you again. For all our listeners, we thank you for continuing to come back and rock with us. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at 4x Dope Podcast. If you want to send us any messages or feedback on our shows, or if you're interested in being a sponsor for one of our episodes, you can hit us up at 4x Dope Podcast at gmail.com. Also, don't forget about our 4x Dope merchandise. It is still hoodie season. You got back another month or so. But if not, we got some t-shirts, and we just got a new color in stock, the Heather Purple that Jermaine rocked on one of our episodes, but it is now available, and you all will be seeing that very soon. So make sure you go to www.shopst2c.com to check out our 4x Dope merchandise. And that is a wrap. Until the next time, we out.
Yeah, Chris, we got rest in peace, man. I love you, man.